I used to play a lot of video games, and hacking on there was pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie. But when it comes to reality, sometimes life is hard, and who would say no to having a few tips to just make things a bit easier? Whether it's saving money, saving time, or just streamlining a certain process, that's what this video is all about. Life Hacks, Vancouver edition. Now, it's totally possible you've heard of some of these hacks before or in the past, but keep in mind these are for people who already are living in Vancouver as well as people who are thinking of moving here in the future. One of the final hacks in this video is for students, so if you are a student in Vancouver, make sure to stick around to the end of the video, and with that being said, let's get into it. Our first hack is the compass card, and I know many people know what compass cards are, but you'd be surprised as to how many people are living in Vancouver and using Vancouver's transit system without using a compass card. A compass card is a transit card that is not required, and you pretty much buy this card for about $20, around that, and then you load money onto it for when you use the bus, SkyTrain, and also C-Bus. And this sounds simple and pretty obvious, but the reason it's a life hack is because you can use your Visa or coins whenever you take transit here in Vancouver, but if you do load money onto your compass card, every time you buy transit or pay for it through your card, it costs you less money to do that. And just as an example, a normal bus ride, just like a one-way get on the bus and pay, costs $2.75, but when you pay for it with your compass card, it actually costs $2.10, which is about 65 cents. Well, not about, it is 65 cents that you're saving there. And sure, that's only 65 cents, but if you're going to work or school every single day back and forth, you're gonna make that initial $20 investment on the card back in just a couple weeks. And then after that, you're actually gonna start saving money. And I'm not a financial advisor, of course, but I do advise this because, I mean, it's easy savings. And our second Vancouver life hack is Ruckify. And if you don't know what Ruckify is, it's an online renting platform where people can rent things from each other, and you can find anything on there from a volleyball to a scissor lift, if you need that for something. I've needed to replace a light in my apartment for the last few weeks, and I just haven't been able to reach it because, I mean, I'm not tall enough. And that's exactly why I rented a ladder for a day to replace that light. It was way cheaper than buying a ladder, and I also don't have to worry about storing it. I can just give it back to them, and they can deal with that. And this is a huge life hack for so many people because, I mean, specifically for me, I don't have a ladder. I live in an apartment. I don't own like a bunch of things as far as like tool and equipment go. So if I was gonna buy a ladder, which I was looking into, but they're actually very expensive, as well as the fact is I don't have anywhere to store it. I would just have to leave it like standing somewhere and pretend it's like a decoration. And this video is actually sponsored by Ruckify, which makes it even more of a life hack right now because if you use my link below, you'll get $35 towards your first rental on their platform. And that's actually possibly enough to pay for your first entire rental. This is a great resource for anyone looking to go on an adventure for a weekend, try something new out, try something out before you actually decide to buy it. Throw a movie night in your backyard with a massive projector, and if you're like me, you could even replace a light bulb. Just by renting things out instead of buying them right away, you'll save a ton of money, and also you'll get to pass on having to store it afterwards. If you're an apartment person like me, then I understand your struggle with storage. It's not fair, we don't have enough, and it's sad. Personally, my favorite part of Ruckify is not only that it's practical, but you can also start a new income source or a new side hustle by renting your things out on Ruckify. If you've been on my channel for a while, then you know I'm all about those multiple sources of income. I'm actually in the process of listing things on my own Ruckify store, so then people will be able to rent them out. There's no sense in leaving my extra camera lenses or cameras just sitting on my desk making me $0 when I could make some easy money by renting them out. And I actually just bought a new camera, and instead of selling my old one, I now have the potential with Ruckify to list it on there and rent it out a few times and possibly make even more than I would have if I just sold the camera. And Ruckify also plants a tree every time someone signs up, every time someone leaves a review, and also every time a rental takes place. I think it's a great platform and also one of my favorite Vancouver life hacks, so make sure to use that link below to get $35 off your first rental. And the next hack is texting the bus. And I don't mean you can text the bus and they'll text you back and send you memes and stuff. I just mean you can text the bus stop and figure out when the next bus is gonna come. You just add the number of the bus, which I believe is 33333, to your contacts, and then you can text it the bus stop followed by the bus number that you're actually waiting for. And it'll text you back with the next times the buses are gonna come. All the stops have these signs, so you can always just text it ahead of time, and I actually saved the contact in my phone with the bus stop number that I always go to, so before I leave the house when I need to take the bus, I send it a text, and then I know when I need to leave and when I actually need to get to the stop. When I was going to school and taking the bus multiple times a day, I would text the bus all the time. Just don't tell my girlfriend. 2 years ago, I had no idea what the numbers on the signs were actually for, but now that you know, if you didn't know already, all you gotta do is text the number, text the bus, and there you go, you're on time. Number 4 is 4-hour parking. And if you're familiar with parking in Vancouver, then you'd know that most public parking areas are a 2-hour maximum. But if you were gonna go somewhere where you needed more time to park, for example, like Jam Cafe, which sometimes has a lineup that is actually 2 hours, your 2-hour parking isn't really gonna help you much. And somewhat of a solution to this problem is paying for the first 2 hours of your stay with coins, and then all the time after that you pay with the app. This way you're actually able to buy and pay for more parking than you would normally be able to just on the meter. And I can't say this is foolproof because technically you're still going against the rules of parking more than 2 hours. Although I know many people who've done this a lot and they've never gotten a ticket, I would just advise against doing it in a place that's super busy with parking or a place that's heavily patrolled by parking people, if that's what they're called. In the end, you're still paying for your parking and then also paying extra for the extra time you're gonna stay there. And there also is still a risk factor because you might get a ticket even after paying for the extra time. And of course, I'm not advising you to do it or telling you you'll be safe doing it by any means. It's just something that people do. The 5th hack on the list is washroom related, as weird as that sounds, and I'm pretty sure it's actually available in most major cities, but nonetheless, it's still a very good one to know. And it's called Flush, which is an app that takes your current location and shows you all the public washrooms in your area. And this may sound kind of strange, right? But I drink a lot of water, so you know what? I'm a huge advocate for this app. I'm not over exaggerating when I say that it gets tiring of hearing employees say that it's for customers only or closed to the public. So this app is a great solution because sometimes there just aren't enough public visible washrooms. And guys, I just wanted to mention for those of you who are new to the channel that I actually have a moving to Vancouver guide that's currently 25% off, so I'll leave that link below as well. So hack number 6 is Facebook groups. And I know Facebook groups exist everywhere, but since we're in a city and there's so many people in a smaller vicinity, all around Vancouver, Facebook groups can be more useful than they normally would be. Of course, there are buy and sell groups and things like that, which is not exactly what I'm referring to. I'm talking about these other groups that you can actually use to your advantage. And a great benefit of these groups is finding like-minded people, keeping a hobby going, or starting a brand new hobby. I personally found a basketball community page where people get together and play basketball every week because I don't actually have enough friends that like basketball to get together and play a full game. Not only are there groups for sports, but also things like book clubs or even chess tournaments. I mean, there's just a bunch and you can find them on Facebook. So it's really a great way to actually meet people. Now, of course, because of everything going on with COVID right now, this is more something for future reference. And our 7th Vancouver life hack is Evo, which is a car sharing service. And there's multiple other car sharing services in Vancouver. Evo is just the one that I use personally. You may be familiar with Evo already, even if you're not from Vancouver. I believe they may have Evo cars in different locations also, but the reason I say it's specifically a life hack for Vancouver is because owning your own car here is extremely expensive for insurance reasons. If you've watched my How Much I Spend in a Week in Vancouver video, you'd know that my car is only worth a couple $1,000s, but I pay almost $400 a month just to insure it, even though I have a clean driving record. And I'm not going to go into detail as to why that is, just know that ICBC is expensive. And with just using Evos, you'll get to pass on the expensive insurance as well as car maintenance fees as well as gas. Life hack number 8 is student discounts, as I know there's a lot of people who are looking to study in Canada in the future and also a bunch of people who are studying here now. So let's talk about a few discounts that students can get, starting off with transit. A lot of schools actually pay for your transit and you should ask them when you're going to the school and also before you attend the school to see what they do. Maybe they give you a discount or possibly pay for some of it. Speaking of schools, you should ask your administration office if your school actually has a partnership or a deal or something like that with other brands in the community, as sometimes you will get discounts because you go to a certain school, as those discounts are public information, but sometimes they're just not shared with you. Something else that can get you multiple discounts as a student is an SPC card, which again I will leave linked below this video. And you could also just get the app or take a look at the website, but anyways, you can get a lot of discounts on things from clothes to a lot of restaurants and different types of food. Again, I wish I'd known I could get these discounts when I was in school because now I'm not a student anymore, and the least I can do is just pass the information along, so that's what I'm doing. And a couple other discounts that students get are at the YMCA gym. I believe students get 20% off the normal rate, and also some seaplane tours around Vancouver, students get 30% off. And remember to keep your student card with you at all times, because sometimes people will ask for verification. If you guys found any of these life hacks helpful or just enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and also a comment below, as it really does help my channel grow. And most importantly, don't forget to use that link below to get $35 towards your first rental on Ruckify. And if you're up to try it out as a new side hustle like I am, then I'd love to hear how that goes over on Instagram. And soon enough, there's going to be a life hack video for all of Canada, so make sure to subscribe below if you want to see that in the future. And I will see you guys next week.